Let's blow money overnight. Got a million things to prove. This ain't happening overnight.
Hey, we're gonna go on a short break real quick, Cebu and the rest of the world. And it's not just any kind of break. It's the BTS behind the scene, and we're talking about the local music scene. And this time, our BTS guest is none other than TREV from Warner Music Philippines. TREV, it's so great to have you here. How's everything so far? How's your morning?
Everything's been great. Everything's been great. You know, I just came from a party last night.
Wow, look at you with the thriving social life.
You know, I'm trying to have a social life as well, aside from music stuff. So I just woke up, went straight to the studio, was on time, so everything's great.
Dude, yeah, you were on time, and that's so hard for artists.
A lot of artists, right?
Considering that last night you were even like you were having fun, man. So good for you for staying professional. I love that. Like, artists, if you're listening right now,
Get some advice from me. Follow me.
it's great to be professional. Such a breeze to work with. I want him back on the show just for that. Okay, so TREV, let me know, before anything, why don't you introduce yourself for our listeners?
All right, so what's up, everyone listening to Y101 FM? My name is TREV. I'm a 21-year-old rapper, hip-hop and R&B musician here from the city of Cebu, and I'm actually with Warner Music. And aside from that, I do a lot of things on the side. I do business. I'm a student, and like I do PR. I'm just like everywhere.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a bit of intro about me.
A lot of hats that you're wearing for a 21-year-old. That is crazy, TREV. We're so happy to have you here. We're so lucky. Tell us about Warner Music Philippines. I mean, Warner Music is a huge international brand. So for you to have scored a deal for Warner Music Philippines, that is, oh my gosh, congratulations. I feel like that deserves another applause. Wait real quick as I try to search it up. Always very delayed. Congratulations.
All right.
Tell us about that journey. How did that go?
How did that go? All right. So actually, the way I got signed with Warner Music was just through the connections that I have. So like I said, I also know how to do business. I'm a person who likes to network. So if you guys didn't know a bit of intro on how I met Claire, it was actually through a business conference, and then we set up this interview. So I'm everywhere. I make connections with people. I form relationships, and it was through one of the relationships that I formed with one of the people, and the most probably one of the most recognized and notable people here from the industry here in Cebu, because he was the first artist manager to bring a local act from Cebu into Manila, and he got signed. He started working in Warner Music, and he brought me alongside with him. So that's why I got into Warner Music. So it was through the relationships that I formed. So if you want some advice from me, it's always that your network is your net worth.
Oh my gosh. Is this a podcast? Is this a financial health podcast? No, I love it, TREV. I love it, because a lot of the musicians that we have right now, they don't really know what the next step is. So I feel like, just even having you on board and knowing that somebody like you exists is hope for them to know that, they might be able to pursue music as a passion. It doesn't have to be, a struggling artist kind of style.
Yeah.
You can be recognized. But first and foremost, when you did get signed, you already had your portfolio of works, right?
Yes,
you already had your original music, your content.
I think it was 3 years into me making music, or 4, because it was in 2021.
2021.
Yeah.
So you're pretty fresh.
I'm pretty fresh in it.
Yeah, 2021. How is that like? What made you think, okay, it's time for me to put a brand out there, put my music out there, and start marketing?
Yeah, because I really think that music, I don't want it to just be a passion.
Okay.
I want this to be something not just for me, but for the people here in Cebu. I want this to be that you can make this thing your passion into your day job. And I think, Claire, we talk a lot about this, the creative initiatives that we're doing here in Cebu. I really hope that in the next few years, we're going to change things for the industry, for the scene, not just for musicians, but for everyone else, actually, that we can hopefully make our passions into our day job. So I think getting into a record label is actually a start. Why? Because I know a lot of artists do believe in staying indie, doing everything by yourself.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. But like it or not, these labels have connections to the global music industry. And if you want to make this into a day job, you want to make money out of this and get your investment back, you're gonna have to connect with people on a global scale. So that's what I said. That's why I was like, you know what? I'm gonna side with them.
That's true, and I don't think it's straying out of the indie scene. I think it's really just more of making yourself sustainable. Because how in the world are you going to fund your next projects? Your next?
Yes.
I mean, what people don't know, I think we talked about this with Keith Ayuman, our guest, Keith Human. He talked about, the pitfalls of the costing of producing your own music, of having music videos, of having an entire team and paying for that. Like, if you are made sustainable, then it's possible for you to keep on doing your thing and funding your own projects. And
I know.
I think this is something that, should be out in the open for new musicians to know. And we're so happy that you guys are doing so many initiatives. I mean, TREV this guy is a gold mine of all of these different resources, guys. Like, oh, it's crazy. We should really have a podcast.
We should start a podcast. All right.
But going back to the Y101 Weekend Top 20, right? So you're here as a guest of Weekend Top 20, and it's us ranking all of the different pop songs. We have local pop songs, OPM, and of course international pop songs from 20th place to number 1. My question for you is, what do you think should be first place for the Weekend Top 20 of this week?
All right. Just listening to the playlist a while ago, while we were waiting for this interview, the song that actually stood out to me the most was Young Gravy, Betty, Get Money. Because just for those of you who don't know, I grew up on 80s music as well. I grew up from music from the 60s because of my grandparents. And then the 80s, I grew up because of my parents. They used to play that in the car. You're a kid and, your dad is just playing songs on the radio. Just mostly like 80s music. So I know he sampled Never Gonna Give You Up, so I love that song. But hey, I want to support local as well, so I'm going to give a shout out to actually like a fellow artist. She's not really well known in the scene yet.
Oh.
She's from Davao. She's also Visaya. She knows how to speak Visaya and Tagalog, so she's Filipina. I'd like to give a shout out to Cray. Her song is Fallen, and she signed with Para Isla record. It's a record label, which is a sub label of Warner Music as well. So she's a fellow artist of mine, and it's just so amazing how we got together because we were in the Warner Christmas party. We were together there.
Oh, so you guys actually have Christmas parties with like all the different talents?
Oh, it was just through Zoom because it was through the
It's all good. Don't expose them. Just say yes.
It was just through Zooms. I was just looking through like, yo, who's here, man? And I saw Cray, and then I had a track, and I was like, hey, I want to get a girl on this track, and like, who am I gonna put on? And I was like, oh, I remember this girl from the Warner Christmas party. Her name's Cray. So I just hit her up on IG, and we hopped on a Zoom call, and we instantly became friends. And now I've been like bringing her to like Cebu like twice already, just to play for my different events, because I really do believe like she has that wow factor. Like when I've worked with her like personally, because we have a song upcoming in March, and then also in the studio, just listening to her like being in her artistic space, she's really good at it. So I do believe that she, with her song Maybe Fallen, that's her best song. That should be number 1.
Whoa. Okay, Cray, guys, you better just open up your Spotify's and your YouTube musics and just search. What's her spelling again?
Krey.
Krey. Cray from Davao. Next time you bring her to Cebu, bring her to the show.
Yeah, well,
we need exposure for her.
Now we met, so we're good. I'll link you up.
There's a recording of this, so everyone is a testament to me saying,
a testament.
I'm inviting Cray to I-101 for the Weekend Top 20 musical guest. You have to be here when you're in Cebu. Okay, Cray for number 1, and like 1.5 is Young Gravy.
Just because of that 80s sample.
Dude, I feel like what should happen is it should be a Young Gravy Cray remix. A Cray Gravy.
Okay, Cray, hop on this track, right? So that we can. Right? I need to get my choices, into one. I don't want to have 2 choices. Yeah, just one.
It works. Remix and collabs happen. Okay, so I love that we already established the fact that you want those to be your first in the ranking. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
I don't know. Maybe Cray is here.
In the next, Sinulog's coming up. So
yes, hopefully, guys. Of course, for the Weekend Top 20, we want TREV to be part of it. So if you support him, then request his music here live on air so more people can hear him and he can be part of the Weekend Top 20 because he completely deserves the spot. TREV, can we talk about Margarita?
Yes, we can.
Margarita. Well, what is the inspiration behind your single Margarita?
All right, so this single Margarita is the way I wrote this song was actually very interesting. So the day after I signed the contracts to Warner, I wrote this song.
The day after,
because I was like, Like it was like, yo, this is one of these are like being in a record label is recognized record label is actually one of the things that I want to achieve in my career as an artist. It's one of the the short wins or the small wins.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so the next day I just hit up my producer. A shout out to Snare, by the way. He's all the way in Norway. So that's why
hey,
he's out.
Snare.
Yeah, so I was like, hey man, I just got signed with Warner. Do you have a celebratory beat? And he played me this beat. And then I was like, I was sipping margaritas, blowing money overnight. Got a million things to prove. This ain't happening. So it was like, yeah, it's really like a showcase. Like, hey, I put in the work. It's been 3 years. I've been in and out. Like, I've been in the back end, working on my connections while also in my craft, like just working on it. And like I'm putting a lot of work, and I think I deserve to celebrate. So that's why I wrote Margarita, and that song came to be.
So that's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about.
So it's going to be a good vibe. It's going to be something that people can listen to if they feel like they were struggling for a while, and this big historic revelation happened.
If like to all the people listening out there, if I want you to imagine like how I want you to be listening to this song, it's like the feeling of listening to this song is like, hey, you're by the pool, you're sipping a glass of margarita, you just celebrated because like you did something great in your life, you've reached an achievement, and now you deserve a break, and like you deserve to celebrate. So have this glass of margarita by the pool and enjoy life.
That is so cool. Trev, like I can't imagine the fact that you're celebrating by making people celebrate. That is so cool.
Yeah.
Like your music basically is just, a shared experience for everybody. And I love that you were able to, capture that and have people have that same exact celebration. So guys, this is us launching Margarita live here on air from TREV and counting it down to 3, 2, and 1.
Snare with the killer beat.
I've been sipping margaritas, blowing money overnight. Got a million things to prove, this ain't happen overnight. And I gotta get my due, I've been working all my life. But the shorty got my groove, wanna do it all night. I've been sipping margaritas, blowing money overnight. Got a million things to prove, this ain't happen overnight. And I gotta get my due, I've been working all my life. But the shorty got my groove, wanna do it all night, all night, all night. I don't want a bad bitch, I wanna keep her. When I'm popping on the track, they be popping on my DMs. When you're talking about the future, man, I swear I can't believe them. When they ask I truly love them, I go ghost and go delete them. Call your shorty just to put her on my wait list, cause my last was just testing on my patience. I do damage just to level up a wait list. Yeah, you lost me and I changed and now you hate it. I let my ego talk more than that, I walk the talk. I shake the city with these hits cause I got a lot. They told me trap, they wanna feature like an analog, but you all just crumbling down just like a Babylon. Venus blowing money overnight, got a million things to prove, this ain't happen overnight. And I gotta get my due, I've been working all my life. But the shorty got my groove, wanna do it all night. I've been sipping margaritas, blowing money overnight. Got a million things to prove, this ain't happen overnight. And I gotta get my due, I've been working all my life. But the shorty got my groove, wanna do it all night, all night, all night. You should check my creds on my resume. 19, got positions telling me that I'ma be the man. Eating up position like I'm Pac-Man. I'm the next Don Draper, I'm a madman. They said I'm lost up in the sauces like I'm Breaking Bad. You better call your lawyer, Saul, cause man, I need a hand. I built an empire like a narco, everything was planned. I put in focus like I'm on it, now I gotta stand. Whole city, hold it down for me. Whole squad, hold it down for me. Yeah, my bitch stayed down for me. They would never look down on me. Whole city, hold it down for me. Whole squad, hold it down for me. Yeah, my bitch stayed down for me. They would never look down. I've been sipping margaritas, blowing money overnight. Got a million things to prove, this ain't happen overnight. And I gotta get my due, I've been working all my life. But the shorty got my groove, wanna do it all night. I've been sipping margaritas, blowing money overnight. Got a million things to prove, this ain't happen overnight. And I gotta get my due, I've been working all my life. But the shorty got my groove, wanna do it all night, all night, all night.
What is up, everybody? It's Claire on air, and this time it's our break from our weekend top 20. And what better way for us to celebrate our break than to have our BTS? And that means our behind the scenes look of the local scene. Bringing back here onto the airwaves, hello, Trev.
Yo, what's up, Claire?
Ceiling, that's what it's up. Parley chute. That's what's up.
Why did you mispronounce that? No.
I have no idea.
You're gonna have to tag Charlie Puts
No,
with that
I will.
one, right?
We have content for that. So hopefully, as a marketing genius yourself, the content is really important.
Content is king.
Gosh, okay, we talked about so much during the break, actually.
I know.
Yeah, in between the songs when I'm talking live on air. So right after that, I wanna kind of like bring the audience in with the perspective that we talked about. So yeah, content is king, and there are different subgenres in music that we could like collaborate together. So first of all, how is short form content, you think, affecting the whole entire music world?
Yeah, so with short form content nowadays, it's really affecting, like, it's making songs become shorter. There were songs back in I talked about this in a podcast.
It's podcast time with Claire on air.
It's a podcast now.
Officially, when you're around, it's a podcast, guys.
So it's called the fast food era of the music industry because like songs are becoming shorter, and short form content is making people's attention span much shorter compared to before. So if you look at the 2000s or even the 90s, the 80s, songs back then were, I think, 7 minutes. I think 5 to 7 minutes. Yeah, that's a normal song because like you'd give every member of the band a chance to shine. The guitarist, the drummer, and all that, they'd have their solos apart from the vocals. But now songs are actually becoming shorter, which is like
our attention span.
Yeah, like our attention span. Some songs are just 1 minute and a half, which is just like a verse and a chorus. I'm just like,
exactly.
Yo, what is that?
That's crazy. Megan Trainors didn't even reach 3 minutes, and it is trending right now on the TikTok train.
Yeah,
it's crazy how people just get separate like little snippets of the song and make it become viral. And sometimes artists, like there are reports that artists release like clips of their songs on TikTok to see if they launch, if they trend, then they create a whole entire production around that. So that's crazy how you have to like base off the validation of how well it will go before you actually
release it.
The song. That's so sad.
Yeah, because like my producer and I, when we work together, we have some beats that are like 4 minutes, and like I can write a whole song, like a complete song with like a complete song structure to me. But then like, hey man, that's 4 minutes. That's kind of too long.
4 minutes is too long.
Yeah, we gotta cut that down. People won't listen to that. Let's cut it down to 2 minutes. So it's just the verse and the chorus left. So I'm just like, no, I can't tell my whole story.
No, I mean like Taylor Swift's iconic 10-minute All Too Well. I mean, people receive that pretty well, right?
Because she's established. But if you're an artist trying to break into the market, you've got to conform to what the market is doing.
That's so sad.
Yeah.
So because Taylor Swift is T Swift, and people
already know her.
Already love her. Like she could write an entire essay and people would memorize the words.
People would memorize the words because Taylor Swift is established.
And that's not the case for, up and coming artists. So you guys have to conform in some way.
Yeah. So I have like songs which are like 2 minutes, but then I have songs which are like 3 minutes, which are the songs that I enjoy writing because I actually can complete the whole song.
Yeah.
Having a verse, a chorus, a second verse, and then a bridge, and then a chorus. That's like, that's a complete song. I told my whole story, but then in 2 minutes, I was like, isn't that kind of too short? But like, I know that's what's gonna click on TikTok, so I gotta put that out.
It's so sad how people are like, it has to click on TikTok.
Yeah.
As musicians, it's crazy how far you guys have come from, having music as an outlet to express yourself to making music as a validation point for the market to digest. And so, where's the line between how to express yourself and making yourself this tool for marketing?
I think I actually watched an essay video on this. It's the best artists, those who are able to succeed, are able to make it in between being an artist and being a business person, because you know how to express yourself, you know how to keep yourself, like you don't conform to the standards of society, but your art is still able to relate to the mainstream, because like there's some artists that dumb it down too much, that it isn't like it isn't art anymore. It's just like
not authentic anymore.
It's not
like
authentic
you can
anymore.
actually tell, right?
Yeah, I can tell. Like a lot of people can tell. But then there are some artists which are really good, but then they're just like in their own circle, in their own community. Which some artists prefer that. But like if you want to make it unfortunately.
Yeah, like the underground music scene, like the
underground
indie
music
scene, right?
If you want to make it, if you want to make this thing like your day job, then you gotta make it to mainstream. So yeah, I think really like the best artist is able to tread both worlds, like really, really good. So an example of that would be like Kendrick Lamar. He's actually a rapper. He has some songs which really talk about like the political landscape of like of the US, but then he also has songs which just click on TikTok. So
okay. So you kind of have to adapt, but then you still have that sense of being, the sense of yourself. But also like, okay, I just got to do this because it's for work, right? Like, I think the best example that I can give, like a mainstream pop artist, Parley Truth. Parley Truth on TikTok. No, guys, Charlie Puth.
I'm so sorry for Claire.
I have no idea why that happened, honestly. Charlie Puth on TikTok is so cool, right? Because he kind of involves people into the journey of making his music. And like Light Switch, for example, he just starts with a comment saying, do something with a light switch. And he's like, oh, turning on and off of the switch. And this could be a beat, right? Everything is a beat with Charlie Puth. Like even somebody joked, like Charlie Puth, because of his perfect pitch, he could actually hear the pitch of your fart. Apparently, that is something that Parley Truth.
Man, there are some people that can make songs like out of anything. Like I know a guy who made a song out of like ball pens clicking, you know.
Whoa, and it's possible for you to do that.
Yeah.
So there's actually, if you think about it that way, there's music in everything. Like music everywhere you go. If you just, sit on a park bench, listen through the sounds of people talking, the wind breezing, the dogs, and everywhere around you, you can actually make a song out of that.
Yeah, that's why I can always say that music is universal. It's a feeling. It doesn't matter what language it is. Like, I listen to Japanese music, I listen to Spanish music. I don't understand what they're saying, but I do understand what emotions the artist is trying to convey. So it's universal. That's what I always say about music. That's why I love music.
So beautiful.
Yes.
Hopefully we can find a little bit of Filipino in there, like, Pinoy pride.
Pinoy pride, yeah. So Spanish, some Japanese, some Filipino as well.
As a Filipino. Yeah, it's getting there. Hopefully let's get into the mainstream global music sound. And this is exactly what Warner Music aims to do, right? To bridge that gap and to showcase a global platform for our local musicians. Much appreciated, much needed. I feel like there's so many underrated, underappreciated, talented musical artists here, not just in Cebu, but like in the whole Philippines that deserve the recognition.
That's correct. Because Jiggy and I actually talked about it, Jiggy in the morning, if you guys don't know, from Y101 as well. The Filipino takeover is actually subtle because like Filipinos are just like everywhere nowadays. Like you like Bruno Mars is Filipino, and then we had this other artist that we worked with in the PR business. His name is August Rigo. If you guys didn't know, he's a Filipino Canadian producer who actually wrote Yusma by Justin Bieber, and he also wrote tracks for BTS. So
oh my gosh,
Filipinos are like just like everywhere, but you just don't
like
know
how do you know this and how do we not know this? Why isn't this in the media? Why aren't people hailing?
Because like we Filipinos, we have that tendency to be more mahiyain, or like shy. We don't really try to put ourselves out there. Like me as an artist, I always try to put myself out there. That's why people like me, because like I was just like, hey man, I'm Trev, I'm a rapper, I'm doing this, but like other Filipinos, they're mostly like, oh yeah, I make music sometimes on the side.
Okay.
and that's to no fault to you guys. It's really just how our culture has been.
I guess so.
We're just more introverted. We're just taught to be humble. That's how Filipinos are. Unlike the Western world, where they're taught to be express yourself
out
always.
there. And
out there.
I feel like since we're talking about the cultural mindset, there was a cultural shift. Probably the generation before us, or the few generations before us then, when music wasn't held as something important anymore, right? When you'd create a song and then you'd show it to family members, they're like, oh, but can you profit off of that?
Can you profit off?
Why don't you just be a nurse, and be abroad? Right?
It's
no offense to them.
Yeah, no offense.
But like there are so many people who are in the wrong field because they were just
they can't pursue their passion because like it's not a sustainable effort to pursue.
But it is. It's just the education isn't there.
The education. So I'm really glad. Like I think the Philippines is slowly getting there with the different projects that the government, the private organizations are doing. I think we're slowly getting to a point where being an artist not just an artist, but like being someone in film, being someone in photography, any creative field could
Right.
actually be something that could be your day job. So you don't have to work a blue collar job from 9 to 5. And you
I mean, like, if you want to work that kind of job, good for you.
Good for you, but, like,
there's so many people who
who
are
are passionate.
who are not, into the 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Us included, definitely.
included.
I gave up the 9 to 5 for 24/7.
Same.
Oh gosh, I lack so much sleep, but then I'm so fulfilled because of the career path that I chose, and I hope that more people, get into that. And there's money. There's so much money, but that shouldn't be the
education,
goal.
yeah.
That shouldn't be the goal. Money shouldn't be the goal. It should be for sustainability.
Yeah,
right?
money's just a tool to get to where you
is,
want. I
it
think
is.
money buys you freedom. So
Yes.
it allows you, when you have money, it allows you to get more time to actually focus on whatever passion you are into.
True.
So that's how I see
God,
money.
I feel like we could
Do a
dive,
podcast.
we could dive so deep into this, but the time that we have
Yeah,
is guys, we haven't even touched into music yet. Like, we're just talking about the industry in general. Okay, music.
Music. All right, let's go to music. Let's go to music.
Okay, Trev, tell me about Heart's a Mess.
All
Heart's
right.
a Mess. What is your heart a mess? Is this the inspiration of the song?
Well, Heart's a Mess, it's a good contrast to Margarita, because like Margarita is actually like a celebration
Right.
of like my different achievements and how much of a workaholic I am. Like, I know there was a lyric there that said you should check my creds on my resume.
Oh.
19, got physicians telling me that I'm gonna be the man. And it's
Oh
just
my
like,
God. Whoa, look at you.
yeah, that's a line from
Look
Margarita.
at you, Mr. CEO.
Yeah, because like me, like I said, I'm involved in so many different things. I'm
True.
a businessman. I'm a PR agent. I organize different events. Like, I'm everywhere. I wear so much hats.
I see you everywhere too.
You see me everywhere. Like, oh, that's Trev again. Like, I don't expect to see you, but you're here. So yeah,
Yeah, we're in that industry where
We're in that industry.
we transcend from whatever we're doing in our career, and
Mm-hmm.
we're catapulting it to network with all of the we try
I
to
wanna
make it
bridge
into a
gaps.
business, and we bridge gaps because
Yeah.
there are so many people in the creative industry who they can't just they don't want to collaborate, they probably don't know
They
which
probably don't,
outlet.
yeah.
I think it really is just more of that, and we're just so blessed to be in an environment, in an ecosystem that supports us, and so I think it's our job and obligation to broadcast it to the rest of the people. And
Yeah.
guys, there is an outlet for startups. There is government support, and we'll get there in the next podcast episode.
all right. Well, anyway, we'll talk more about that in the
Okay,
podcast.
Heart's a Mess.
But Heart's a Mess, yeah. So, seeing as that's my lifestyle, it's really hard to maintain, relationships with with someone that
Aw.
that you have. So yeah, it's Heart's a Mess actually talks about a special girl.
Does she know she's a special girl?
Oh yeah, she knows. She knows. So yeah, unfortunately, is this girl
Right.
she checks all the boxes. She's really sweet girl and all that. If I see myself with someone, it would be with someone like her. But unfortunately, because of my lifestyle, because of how busy I am, I can't give time to you. It didn't work out. I know one of her complaints was that I never call, but I was just like, hey, my job, I call people on the day from 8 to 5, and you want me to call with you every night? But like I said in my previous interview, one of the most important things you can actually give to a girl as a guy is time.
Yeah. People should talk more about this. Oh my gosh. It depends on, it really depends on the girl's love language. But, 80% of the people who I interviewed who are women, they're like, yes, quality time is important.
Quality time, and then
It doesn't matter. You don't need to give them any gift. You don't need to
Yeah,
give
she
them
was like
words of
that.
affirmation. Just be there. And okay, this is the number one struggle. You can physically be there, but that doesn't mean that you're mentally there.
Yeah, every time we used to go out, in my head, I was in another world. I was thinking about I was thinking about work. I was thinking about music. I was thinking about. Yeah, I
you
was
see,
just
so the connection is gone.
yeah, I was just now that I look
I'm
back
so
at it.
sorry that happened.
Now that I look back at it, I was just
I think you should just have a good work-life balance. Turn off your phone, turn off the work switch in your
It's so
mind.
hard.
I know, because everything could be, I feel like even when you're on dates and then you just find somebody who you just networked with and you wanted to talk to,
yeah.
poor date.
No, yeah,
She's,
she
left on
was
the
telling
side.
me yo, could we go out and you just don't talk about anything.
Oh,
I was just like, just talk about what you like, I was like, what I like. I was like, what I like
Work.
is business.
Dude, I get you. But
So it's I was trying to talk for 1 hour of the things I like, and then oh wait, Hey, remember this? Remember this? Remember this business?
Oh,
That's
no.
so yeah. That's why
I get it.
the track is like Hearts of Mess. It's not really like, it's just like I wish things could have been better, you know. And that's the story of Hearts of Mess. So she knows. She knows because I made a speech about it, like, you know, back in my music video premiere. That's why in my music video premiere,
Of which I was there.
yeah, you were there, but you, you were late.
Business people. I
totally get it.
But I was there.
Yeah, when if you look
Yeah.
at the music video, it's actually very personal. It's very it touches on like things that actually happen between us. So this music video, the music video for this song is actually very special because like it's more personal. It's you know, it's humanizes Trev because like I know a lot of people know me as this guy who's like business, work, and all of that, but like, hey, I guess there's a human side to me as well, you know. I do have feelings.
Of course.
I do have feelings sometimes.
Sometimes when you switch off your work mode in your brain, it's like
Yeah.
20% of the time.
And then like, you know, I put it in songs, so I don't express it. Like I don't express that. I'm very bad at expressing feelings because
Right.
like majority of my communication is done in a formal
Through
setting.
songs.
Yeah, but so I express my feelings through songs, and they become songs, and then
Yeah, I totally get that. You know, Trev, you are young. You're 21. I
Yeah.
mean, you know, you're starting to rise at the peak of your career, and you're building your connections. And you know, I see you. I see your potential. You are definitely global sound material, and you know that entails a couple of sacrifices along the way.
you have to
So,
lose. You have to lose some things. It's just that, you know, life is all about the choices that you make. You know,
Yeah.
you can choose to live a quiet and peaceful life, and just you know, have a stable life, and just like, you know, that's up to you. I totally understand that. Some people prefer that. Well, some people like me, we want to achieve things.
Right.
But when you want to achieve things, you have to sacrifice a lot to get that. It'd be time, time with your family, time with loved ones, time with friends. Like I said, like I was talking to you, I don't have friends. I only have like 5 friends I talk to.
And they're all introverts. That's why they can't be here right now to
I
support
can't
you.
be here because I only have like 5 people I talk to because like I'm so busy I can't maintain
Right.
a social life.
I get that. And you know what? I get that completely because my friends are people I work with.
See?
You know, it's just because we bond because of the shared passion that we have. So I completely relate to you. This ends our podcast. I want you back on the show. Like we need to have like part 2, part 3, part 4.
Definitely.
I want you to be part of a segment, something like.
We'll
Guys,
make a podcast, don't worry.
don't worry, it's gonna happen. But that's it. That's the whole entire message and inspiration behind Heart's a Mess. But you are not a mess. In fact, you are so inspiring. And just listen to this by Trev, guys. 3, 2, 1.
Snare with the killer
I thought that it was meant to be, guess I was wrong. Hope you know how much you meant to me. Now you're gone, you were like a peaceful symphony. You kept me warm, now you took another